So every once in a while, a Marvel TV show will come out.
Yeah. And this one, like, there was no buzz about it. I've never really heard anybody talk about it. At first I heard the name Wonder Man and I thought it was like some distant project that's maybe coming sometime. Cause they remember they had like timelines and they all failed. like when their slates all failed.
That is one big pile of shit.
This is the 13th Marvel television show. I made a lot of these fucking things. Let's go through it. WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, which had 2 seasons, Hawkeye, Moon Knight.
Oh, God.
Ms. Marvel, She-Hulk Attorney at Law, Secret Invasion.
Oh yeah. With Daenerys.
Daenerys.
Getting her muscle arm with the tattoos.
Echo, Agatha All Along, which for my money is the worst. I actually think like I would rewatch all of these before I rewatch Agatha All Along.
I remember there were like theater kids on Twitter trying to say that it was like really good or the best. And I'm like, no, it can't be.
Yeah, I'm like, you theater kids need to shut the fuck up. You've had enough. We've had enough.
Do you think they've gone back and rewatched Agatha All Along?
No. And what do you think the rewatch stats are on Echo?
0.
Daredevil Born Again, Ironheart, now Wonder Man, and then the next one apparently this year is Vision Quest, where they're going to follow around Vision.
Oh.
To regain his memory and humanity, which is actually something I'm kind of interested in.
I'm kind of interested in that, I guess. But just because, man, WandaVision was so long ago.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
2020. It was 6 years ago. So you can understand why after 12 of these stinkers, and I mean, look, here, let's do a quick tier list. Ready? WandaVision. I'm going to put it in A. I think it's a good show, even if half of it sucks. Falcon and Winter Soldier. I think it's a B, right?
High B.
High B.
High B.
Loki, I think, is like a C, maybe even a low C. I think it's shit. People don't like me saying that.
I'm going to say D, actually.
Yeah.
No, we'll put
low C.
D. Low C.
Hawkeye, I'm going to give it an A. It's a good show.
I like it. Christmas.
Moon Knight, for me, like a D. That's a D.
Yeah, D.
Like, remember all that Egyptian shit and the hippo?
Solid D. Which sucks because Ethan Hawke was kind of like interesting almost, but it's totally a wastage. And even, what's his face? The main character. Isaac.
Oh, yeah. Isaac Yankem.
Yeah, Isaac Yankem. I mean, he was trying, but ultimately, I think Oscar Isaac. Yeah, ultimately, that's a solid D show, definitely.
Ms. Marvel, I'm going to give that one maybe like a low B.
There is enough in there. I would probably give it a C, but I'm doing the waiting for Nintendo thing where they have to agree on a placement together. So we'll go B.
She-Hulk Attorney at Law. I mean, unless
F.
you want to give it credit for being fucking awful and ridiculous, but like for me, it's an F, like a hard F.
It's a hard F.
Yeah. Secret Invasion. I'm going to go with D. I think it's a little bit better than She-Hulk, but it's a D.
Yeah, it's a D. I think just because it has Samuel L. Jackson, like...
Yeah, and in that sense, that's a hard fail. It's like, what, you can't make a cool movie, a cool show with this? But I remember it had an expensive action sequence or two in like episode. Yeah, there was like an episode with helicopters crashing or something. Echo, hard F. That's a piece of shit.
What a piece of shit.
Yeah, you could barely pay attention to it.
Agatha All Along, F, hard F, piece of shit.
F.
Daredevil Born Again, I'm going to go with C? C.
Yeah, C. There was a lot of good things about it, but I did not stick any of the landings that it was setting up.
Ironheart, I think probably C or low C, probably.
Yeah, I mean, there's some interesting stuff in there. It was better than I would have thought.
That's kind of what I mean. It's like you're ready for a D or an F, but it's a you had Sacha Baron Cohen as the devil and stuff was kind of interesting, and there was the occasional bit of like I at a certain point you have to rate these things based on like was I miserable while I was watching it, or was I able to click to the next episode and not really mind the grind so much? Yeah,
Ironheart did eventually get me to be like, I'm kind of interested in what happens next. So
yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. It's like it did bring me forward. Whereas like something like Loki, I was like, I don't care. Like, can you just be over? That brings us to Wonder Man, and I'm going to go with high B. High B. Like approaching A.
Yeah, I mean, I might even put it in the A. I think
it's pretty good.
I think it's pretty good.
All right. First of all, it's a Marvel spotlight. And what that means is that you don't have to watch it. It's the craziest fucking thing, the situation they found themselves in, where they have to brand things on like, don't even bother.
Relax, you don't have to bother.
So I think like whether the show is good or not, they've gotten so much feedback that the homework that's needed to be done to keep up with everything is just, people are totally lost. They totally don't care anymore. And they're like, we need some way to delineate what the important watching is and what the unimportant watching is. And of course, the homework wasn't that hard to keep up with when it was like 2 movies a year. But when it's 13 TV series in 6 years, it's like nobody's keeping. How do they not know that, you know?
And it doesn't mean that this show doesn't have homework, because it has a little homework. You have to at least have watched Iron Man 3 and what's the other Kung Pao? What's it?
You talking about Shang-Chi?
Saying Shang-Chi. Secret of the Rings.
Oh, is that the one that he was in? Now, I was trying to remember. I was like, which one was Ben Kingsley in besides Iron Man 3? Okay, it was Shang-Chi.
It was
Right.
Kung Pao Enter the Fist or whatever.
That's a good one. So here's the premise. Simon is our main character. He's an aspiring actor. He is kind of a full-time auditioner. He's not landing any roles. And when he does, he fucks it up. He goes in there and he has too many ideas about what the scene should be. And he gets himself fired because his process is too involved.
Mister, I got fired from American Horror Story this morning. Yeah, they told me you couldn't even lay in blood, Simon. How hard is that? You just sit there. You just lay.
He's egotistical. He's a flawed guy. That's one of the things that's quite good about the show, and is that it's not afraid to give you somebody who's working on himself and trying to figure himself out, and who's inauthentic in a lot of ways, and like the acting plays into that.
Yeah, and it's part of the story too, because he's covering up something.
One day after, he got fired from American Horror Story, he goes to a afternoon screening of Midnight Cowboy, where he runs into Trevor, who is the actor played by Ben Kingsley, who played the Mandarin in Iron Man 3. So for those who don't remember, in Iron Man 3, Marvel Comics famously has this Chinese terrorist bad guy named the Mandarin. And they were like, oh, Ben Kingsley's going to play him. And he had this very strange way of speaking where he's like, you won't see me coming. I think people were concerned about, like, are you going to have an English actor play a Chinese guy? Like, what the fuck's going on? But then the movie, which was directed by Shane Black, Iron Man 3, written and directed by Shane Black, it had this big troll thing, very controversial. It was like, oh, actually, the Mandarin's an actor. He's an English actor. This kind of unassuming, kind of, idiosyncratic guy. And he was put up to the whole thing, basically. But then he's jailed for that. And then, he made an appearance in Shang-Chi. But here he is again. And so he's back out auditioning. And it turns out he's actually working for the feds or something, right? Some department of whatever. And he's been put up to, we want you to follow around Simon. And the reason is because we happen to know Simon is he was born with superpowers. He's some kind of, when he gets pissed, he's got a little bit of the Hulk or something. When he gets pissed off, he becomes like a bomb.
Yeah, it's one of those vague Marvel powers where, what's her name from
Jean Grey?
Yeah, one of those Marvel that's like it's energy or something, it's like you don't know what it is really. It's just something.
When they fart, it destroys the house.
I don't feel so good.
So he's superpowered, and so they want Trevor, Ben Kingsley, to follow him around. And the rest of the show, it's 8 episodes. They're all about 33 minutes. But if you subtract the credits, you're really talking about like 27 minutes probably. So they're quick. Yeah. It goes quick. They become something of like a couple of best buds. And one of his childhood superhero movies from the 80s that he loves, called Wonder Man, is getting remade by a big Oscar, kind of David Lynchian sort of, art director. And he's a cinephile. He's got the whole Criterion collection at home, and he can't wait to audition for this movie. And Ben Kingsley is also going to audition for like the sidekick character. So it becomes about them trying to get a part in this movie, learning more about each other as time goes on. And I think one of the things that works about it, the reason that you're wanting to click that next episode, is because you like these two guys. You want them to be best buds, but Ben Kingsley has been hired to spy on him. And that bothers you because you're like, I actually think that these guys improve one another. I think that they kind of complete one another. They're both like sort of lost souls, and they're both kind of fucked up. And when they're together, they're better. which is good. That's good TV. You know, a lot of times, like, what do you
Yeah.
need in a good TV show? You need good characters. You need somebody, Ben Kingsley steals the show. I mean, Ben Kingsley is like one of the greatest, and it makes me think like, man, Ben Kingsley's been underutilized. Like, if he can do these like really awesome comedic performances, like what else have we missed from Ben Kingsley? But I was impressed by the actor who played Simon.
Yeah, I think he has a good chemistry with Ben Kingsley, and he's a flawed character. He's not like usually with these kind of characters, they're usually perfect in every way, but no, he's good. He's got things to work on. Their rapport is just so electric, and he brings Ben Kingsley over to his family party, mostly because Ben Kingsley wants to spy on him some more. Even when he's interacting with his Haitian family, it's it's really good and it's really funny. Yeah, I liked a lot of the writing choices and shot. I think some of the cinematography, it almost felt what's Royal Tenenbaums ish.
Wes Anderson,
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt kind of a little bit like an independent movie. A little like the superhero-ness of it all is pretty understated, pretty unimportant. And it's more a show about characters and their relationships and auditioning. There's a lot of inside baseball about film stuff that so if you don't care about actors or, Hollywood, this might bother you a little bit because there's a whole lot of that happening here.
And I think because it's very Hollywood and inside baseball, and with inside baseball with superheroes and how they sometimes get auteur directors and stuff like that, it feels a little more sincere, oddly enough. making a Hollywood isn't very sincere, but because they know the source material so well, it feels more authentic.
It was shot in 2023, I discovered. So they've been sitting on it for a little bit. I would say, one thing that either for it or against it, you tell me, but I thought that it was very easy to follow. This was not a confusing. There's one episode we'll talk about in a minute, but it was, generally speaking, it wasn't like a meandering, get to the point. Why are we here? What are we doing? It was kind of short. It's kind of snappy. I thought they say we try to make movies and TV shows to be second screen. Is you probably could second screen this pretty effectively because you can follow what's going on. It was basic in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and even though obviously the government and the agent was the bad guy, the conflict wasn't really that. It was between those two characters. You wanted them to work out so that they're both in this movie and they're both going to be in it and stuff like that, but it doesn't quite work out that way. But the conflict isn't just it's a big bad guy who has a thing that they're trying to follow or something. It wasn't that, so it was way more interesting.
There's one scene in maybe the fifth episode that really had me laughing, which was as the drama unfolds and as Simon's powers become known to Ben Kingsley. That's kind of fun too, because now Ben Kingsley is kind of protective of him. He doesn't freak out. He doesn't panic. That's, I think, something else that's kind of magnetic about the character is he's so eccentric that that you can be yourself around this character. You don't have to hide who you are. You don't have to be embarrassed. He's not going to freak out or be scared. You could almost be anything you need to be in front of this Ben Kingsley's character. But some passerby gets footage on a GoPro of the event happening and is going to sort of blackmail him. And he's like, if you don't do this thing for me, I'm going to automatically upload the footage to YouTube at 9 a.m. And they're like, can you even do that? And he's like, of course you can do that. Of course you can schedule a YouTube upload. And then many scenes later, Ben Kingsley's talking to these other younger people. And he's like, there's all this action happening and it's urgent. And he's like, quick, can you tell me, is it possible to to upload directly from a GoPro to YouTube? And they're like, what, without a laptop or anything? He's like, yes, directly from the GoPro. And they're like, oh no, you would need a laptop and download it first. He's like, oh, bloody knew it. I knew it wouldn't be directly from a GoPro to YouTube. You can't do that.
So whatever's on that camera is the only copy?
Yes.
I knew it!
You guys gotta go, man.
We just need the GoPro, we're golden.
Is that right?
There was a joke that was on the brink of not being funny. And then there was one line. I was like, okay, it's funny. It's good. Which was, once they get the parts in Wonder Man, spoilers, Simon gets the part, Ben Kingsley gets the sidekick. There's kind of this shrew from the New York Times, this hit piece writer who follows them around on set. And they're horrified that she's going to do a character assassination on Simon. And Simon's like, I'm not a very likable guy. I'm not really Mr. Cool. I'm not Mr. Calm. I'm kind of a dick. And so I think she's going to pick up on that and character assassinate me. And she was like, check this out. I found this article from her. She did this hit piece on Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And she said that like the incident with the pigeon in grade school was not isolated. And they were like, what do you think the incident with the pigeon is? And they're like, he must have murdered the pigeon. And so without them knowing what happened, they kind of moved forward in the episode thinking that Joseph Gordon-Levitt murders pigeons. And they're having dinner, and she's interviewing them, and she sort of turns her attention to Ben Kingsley because she realizes he's the Mandarin and starts poking at him. And he's like, you're trying to turn me into Joseph Bloody Gordon-Levitt, and I never murdered any bloody pigeons.
I can understand this can be a pretty sensitive subject.
You're bloody right it's sensitive. You're trying to turn me into Joseph Bloody Gordon-Levitt, aren't you? Well, you won't. I never murdered any bloody pigeons. I'm an actor. That's all I've ever wanted.
There's a little bit of, I thought, kind of stupid millennial type of stuff in here. You know, occasionally it kind of goes in a direction. Like, eh. And so there's this one episode, it's episode 4, I think. And it's one of those like complete departure episodes. It's got like a whole lot of Josh Gad playing himself.
Yeah. It doesn't work. Yeah, and they have like fake movies where Josh Gad is starring in them, and it's like that wouldn't happen.
Something I was like, I don't think there's like enough episodes or there's like enough story here to sort of justify this like departure episode, you know?
Yeah, the old purpose of the episode is to really tell you that because superheroes are a liability on Hollywood sets, that's why Simon is hiding the fact that he's a superpowered individual.
Yeah, but it's not like I couldn't have figured that out, you know?
But you could have easily done some dialogue, or like you could have cut away to like whatever the Slater on the TV they're saying like, oh, superpower individuals are because of this incident. You do it really quick. But no, there was a whole episode, and it was not great. Yeah, definitely millennial writing. It didn't have to be there. Josh Gad. The jokes didn't quite work, so that was a really annoying, not very good episode.
I had to get through that one.
And the GoPro episode had funny parts in it, but I also was like, why am I watching this? Because there's a lot of like, we're not like making drugs, we're making candy. And it's like,
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That kind of stupid shit.
We're just having a conversation, officer.
They're drug dealers, all of them.
We just make candy, Mrs. Gonzalez.
Look, the GoPro moment was funny. Everything else, not so much. But that's why I hold it back from being an A, is because some of those tangents were a little bit tiresome. But overall, if you want like a basic show with good performances and it kind of sticks the landing ultimately, and the ending is quite good, and it probably won't do anything else. I don't think these guys are going to appear in Doomsday. No. It's just a limited series. I think it's kind of good. It made me wonder though. I was like, if this is to borrow a phrase, it made me wonder if like, could this be a 2-hour movie?
Yeah, I was thinking about that, because A Night of the Seven Kingdoms is on right now, and it has similar vibes to me. It's like, I feel like, it's only going to be 6 episodes, but a lot of the episodes are just half an hour, and if you put them all together, it would be like a 3-hour movie. You could make this a 2-hour movie, and it would probably be just as good.
Yeah. You might not get the Simon character quite as much, but I think you could. I think you could, like, be pretty efficient with this thing and get, pretty impactful movies have been told in 2 hours. So yeah, you should be able to do it.
You should be able to do it. It's kind of like, it's a little bit of a Rush Hour kind of premise, like two unlikely friends, and
it reminded me at times a bit of Extras, Ricky Gervais's Extras, with actors playing themselves, sort of like heightened versions of themselves.
Oh yeah, the Matrix guy, the one who eats the steak.
Yes, yeah.
he's a cipher.
Bliss. That's the thing. That whole black and white episode is just like kind of a huge indulgence. There's a scene where they're like a nightclub and Josh Gad is like performing at the nightclub and he's doing like a techno version of In Summer from Frozen.
And in summer, we're melting bitches!
Yeah, they really reveled in the fact that they could use like Frozen references and Disney references in this.
If you're him, are you like doing all that, or wouldn't you be like, all right, we don't have to do the Olaf thing?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't personally do it.
Yeah. This dropped all at the same time. This was not one of your week to week. And that's how we were able to, it just came out last week at the time of the recording. So we were able to just binge it and talk to you about it here and be done with it. Put it behind us on the podcast. But I think probably they're starting to figure out that like some shows ought to just drop and some shows, but I always wonder, I'm like, why not do 2-hour spotlight movies, And then I thought, well, maybe it's because Ben Kingsley won't be in a 2-hour straight to Disney Plus movie. But then I'm like, but Netflix and HBO Max have real ass movies and Apple TV that get nominated for Oscars and all the rest of it. But I was like, I guess through their business model, like a Disney Plus movie is not a real movie and a Netflix movie is a real movie. Maybe that's the perception right now.
Yeah, like a Disney Plus movie is like those VHS only sequels that they used to do, you know.
Yeah, Return of
it's
Jafar.
like it's like the you throw them on the platform, or the ones that couldn't quite make a movie release. Yeah, they feel like failures already, admitting failure. So at least this, like, for oddly, a Disney Plus show is a step up from that. Like
Right.
Mandalorian, that's a real show, right? The people
They're kind of like resting on the laurels of like, well, it's like a real project. It's not just some straight to DVD. Because if it was a movie, they'd be like, well, why is it not in theaters? Marvel movies are in theaters. Why aren't maybe that's what it is.
It is funny that Ben Kingsley is playing like it's like an actor in the Marvel universe, and obviously he was the Mandarin, but I wonder if they like regret putting him in that role.
Can't he play one of these other cool roles? I don't know. They've gotten some pretty good mileage out of it. I was like, I'm watching. I'm like, damn, this is like the ultimate arc for Iron Man 3.
I know, seriously.
Years ago. It's like really making some hay with Iron Man 3.
I did like that he was like, I took that the Mandarin role because I was like addicted to like hookers and alcohol and blow
to pay off my gambling and my drug debt. You know, how much better is this than Ironheart? Very.
You're a glitch. You're my glitch.
And it's very better than, Agatha. And Agatha, I was like, how many more do I have to do? Like, if I was watching them week to week too, because that didn't drop all at once.
Yeah, and this just felt intentional. Everything about it felt intentional, even the Josh Gad stuff. If somebody wanted to make it, it didn't feel like the scrapbooked. Like even Falcon and Winter Soldier, even though I liked it, there was there's something wrong when happened with that one.
For sure. Well, I think I like Wonder Man more than Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Falcon was, I got to give it credit because they put like Marvel money into it in the way that they used
good
to.
action sequences. Yeah.
Before they were just shooting this stuff on sets, but of course this show works pretty well because it sort of suits itself. It's the right budget for the story. I doubt they spent hundreds of millions on this thing. They couldn't have.
No.
Maybe salaries for the actors. Now that's about it. I would say it's like, for me, its heights are nowhere near as high as the highest heights for WandaVision. Like when WandaVision was at its best, that was very, very good TV. But its lows, Wonder Man's lows are way better than WandaVision's lows. Because half of WandaVision was a really shitty, weird government movie.
Honestly, whenever they do weird government stuff in these shows, I'm always like,
Even in Wonder Man, every time Ben Kingsley met with that one day actor,
He's thinking now.
Is he?
That might be tricky. I would have to move some things around.
Just say, see you in 20.
I would never text a sentence fragment.
the lispy agent. And you're just like, oh, come on, get out of here.
Wonder Man himself, I wouldn't mind seeing again. Actually, Simon, I wouldn't mind seeing again. I think. But he has to come with Ben Kingsley. That's the thing. It's like if Ben Kingsley wasn't part of it, I want nothing to do with it. It's got to be the two of them.
Well, spoilers. He does save him at the end, so hopefully they become a crime duo.
Yeah, a couple of actors. These the fucking I was a little worried. I was like, Kingsley's not gonna be in this whole thing. Like every episode, every scene. It's like he is. He's in this whole thing. So they really should have led with that in the marketing. They'd be like, hey, we got Kingsley to be in this whole show.
Was there marketing? I'm not sure, but and I know some comic book fans were like, "Oh, that's not Wonder Man." I don't know anything about the comics, so I don't.
What do I give a fuck?
What do I give a fuck? But as a story where they use the Wonder Man name, I think it's very good character driven story.
They kept going to young Simon watching the original version of Wonder Man. Just a small critique. It's very clear that the poster and marketing for the original movie appears to be like a 1970s at the latest. And then in the dialogue, they say it's an 80s movie. And then when you actually watch the fake movie, it feels very much like a modern film that's trying to be cheesy. Like it doesn't feel authentic to the era. It's all I could imagine was like Nathan Fillion for some reason playing that character, like being silly playing the character. So I was like, hey, next time you guys make a fake movie, can you put a little more effort into making it? That's like one of the most fun things. Remember WandaVision like nailed the parodies, like thoroughly nailed the parody. That's why one of the reasons that show is so amazing. That Malcolm in the Middle episode, I think about that a lot.
Oh.
Yeah, remember that one where they were dressed up in the Halloween. It was like the Halloween episode of like Malcolm in the Middle WandaVision. And then they had an early 2000s like a Red Bull style commercial in the middle of it, and I was like, oh wow, this is really nailing it.
Yeah, I agree. It almost looked. It even looked more like Star Trek, the original series, but like with more modern
digital cameras
digital cameras. Yeah.
Well, it was literally shot in that. I can't remember what it's called, but that location that James insisted on shooting in for the AVGN movie. And of course, Captain Kirk I have had enough of you. I liked Wonder Man enough that like if towards the end of like the second Doomsday movie, all is lost and Wonder Man cradling Ben Kingsley sort of powers
like a little baby.
And he just gets pissed off and he destroys Robert Downey Jr. And he's like, well, I didn't know we could do that.
Or no, you'd be like, I told him to do that with the breathing.
I told him to do that. He didn't have confidence in himself, and I spoke to him.
That's what you learn at the end, because he has more control over his powers, is because he's mastered his breathing because of Ben Kingsley. So
look at that. See, that's writing.
That's a story.
And it's related to the acting thing, getting out of your own head. There was actually there was some, it makes sense because I'm sure the writers and I'm sure the creators are all into this stuff. But some of the insights around acting were, like we're supposed to express life, and first and foremost we have to live. Getting out of your own head and all that stuff was good. It makes me wonder. I'm like, because this was shot in 2023, is this with their content strategy? Is this a lame duck? Is this another? Like, oh, fuck, we were trying to do these minor characters with, lesser known actors, and we're trying to do more Disney Plus stuff. But I'm like, well, geez, this is like the first time you made something that could kind of hook me a little bit.
Are you excited for Doomsday?
Yeah, I kind of am. On the one hand, I'm like, that's cool. Spider-Man, I'm sure Spider-Man will be in it. And the X-Men and the Avengers. It's like, that's a dream come true. That's like, we've been wanting that for a long time. On the other, and it's not going to be some new X-Men. It's just going to be the old X-Men.
Yeah, the old
and
X-Men.
by old, capital O on the old. Ian McKellen's like 90. And they got him in there. He's like, I'm Magneto. Like, there may be a scene where Captain America and Thor and Iron Man, I predict, if they got Robert Downey Jr. back, they're not going to not bring back Iron Man and Wolverine and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Like there is likely to be a scene that has those characters in it. And that does not a movie make, but how can I not want it?
Yeah. You're playing with your action figures.
Yeah.
Smashing them together.
It sounds like Doomsday is going to be a Deadpool 3 sort of stunt or a Spider-Man No Way Home kind of stunt.
And Deadpool might show up. So.
Yeah. Look, Deadpool 3 is cool. It's a cool movie. Like that's everything they've made in the last few years. Like, of course, Deadpool 3, Guardians 3, apparently Wonder Man.
Wonder Man. I'm so shocked that I like it.
Like I was not ready to like it. Okay, like I was, especially when I alerted you to, I was like, I think we need to watch Wonder Man because we've never missed one of these shows. I'm sure you were like, fucking hell, binge it.
It was pleasant. It was pleasant.
Of all the things we've watched for the podcast that like have not been fun, a lot of them are just mid. I think of like what's that Star Wars show that was supposed to be the Goonies?
Oh, Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, we watched that whole show, dude. We watched that whole show. And like, I can't remember what it's called. I don't remember a thing about it. Because they just did Stranger Things again.
Can someone set a GoPro to automatically upload a video to YouTube?
Straight from the camera?
Yeah.
Subscribe to Red Cow Entertainment on Patreon for full episodes every other week.